Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me. This is Ciara from Ciara T Designs, and today I have this really pretty leaf card to share with you. So let's jump right in. So I'm going to create my layers to start, and I have a piece of distress watercolor cardstock here that I'm cutting off about 1/4 of an inch on the top and the bottom. And then I also have a piece of black cardstock because you guys know I love to mat my cards, and I'm going to cut that down to be about 1/8 of an inch of my A2 sized base so that I have a nice thin layer around the white for the base and then the black for the mat. And then I'll have that watercolor cardstock on the top. And I do kind of show you the basic of the mats here. I don't really measure things much. I kind of just eyeball it, but you can be a little more precise if you want to be. And then to create the background, I'm going to use Lost Shadow Distress Oxide ink and a little bit of scattered straw once I'm kind of happy with how my background is looking. So I just have a piece of acetate here, and this just gives me a little more control over how I'm creating my background. So you kind of see me, I'm just going to do the smooshing technique, and there's no wrong way to do this. You could do it on the white mat of the glass mat there as well, but I'm choosing to use the acetate just because it gives me a little bit more control as to where the color sits and where the drops are and that kind of thing. So I just kind of add color, I dry it between each layer, and then I add a little water to kind of add the splatters. So I opened my Etsy store a couple of days, or I guess a little while ago now, I guess 5 days ago, and I realized that I have a kind of little funny quick story here for you guys. So I opened my shop, and I got an order. Thank you so much, Sandra, and I was so excited about this order, and I got it all done and whatever. And then my friend was looking at my store today, and she's like, "Hey, why does it say you're on vacation mode?" And I'm like, "I don't understand what you mean." So then I'm looking, and it turned out that it submitted my driver's license because you get paid. So your information is with Etsy. And my license expired 4 months ago, and I had no idea at all, because my husband and I, we moved, a little while ago, and I hadn't updated my address. That's totally on me, but I, kind of rely on that letter that they send you to inform you that your license is going to expire. So I had no idea that I have been driving for 4 months with an expired driver's license. Okay. No idea. And now I'm in panic mode. So I call up my mom and I call up my husband, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, we don't have ICBC in Prince George. We don't have a location, and so you have to go to the BC Services building, which is the government building that does all the ID. And they're like, they don't have any appointments because you book online, and they don't have any appointments until March. And I'm driving around with no driver's license, and I panicked, right? So I go down, I try to call them because you're supposed to book an appointment, and I try to go, I can't get through, and they have no options for licensing. And then I finally find a lady, and she's in Vancouver, and she has no idea. And she was super kind, but she had no idea what to do here because we don't have an ICBC that you can go in and renew your license. So she's like, maybe just go down there and try. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll go down. It's like 3:00. They close at 4:30. So I go down there and I walk in, and I'm like panicking. I'm like, I don't know if they'll make me redo my driver's license, like take the driving test. Like, I have no idea because I've never let my license expire. So it's kind of funny, right? So I go down there, and they were super nice. They had no problem. They just renewed it on the spot. I paid my $75 and moved on with my life, right? But it was just so funny. Anyway, the moral of the story is that if you are looking to purchase something from my shop, you can now. I have fixed it. It's back up and running. And I still have that code as a thank you to anybody who's considering purchasing, and all the information is in the description down below. But so if you move, change your address, because otherwise you don't get those letters, and then you just drive around with an expired license for months. Like, it just boggled my mind. So I called my mom, and I'm like, "Mom, I need an adultier adult." And she's like, "What the heck are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm an adult, but like, I need a more adult." But it was just really funny. So I thought I'd share that with you guys, just because I was like mind boggled as to what you do, right? I've never had that happen, and user error, like, it was on me, but holy moly, Yikes. Anyway, back to the card. So you saw me splash on some of the Lost Shadow Distress spray, just for added interest in the background. And then I also splattered on a little bit of the Perfect Pearls that I have mixed up and a little bit of water for a little added interest in the background. And then for the kind of focal of this card, although I really want that Lost Shadow and the color in the background to stand forward, I cut out 3 of the leaf fragment dies from Tim Holtz in Velum. This is a heavier weight Velum. I believe it's 40 pounds, so it holds up really well. And then I'm going to lay them out so that the adhesive's only going to be where I'm going to wrap the twine around. So you're not going to be able to see the adhesive once I'm finished here. So that's why I kind of laid out where I wanted them to be. And you saw that Ember stopped in. I tried to get her to come and say hi to you guys, but she was more interested in my cactus that's sitting over here. So she didn't really say hi, but I tried to get her to come say hi there for a second. And then to adhere the twine to my leaves, I'm sorry, I'm still getting over a cold, so my voice is a little off. I used a very small piece of 1/8 inch Scor-tape, and then I'm going to use that to secure the twine behind the leaves so that I can make sure it's going to stay there. Because I'm not going to adhere the Velum anywhere else, I really need that twine to stay where I'm putting it because all of the adhesive's going to sit there. So this is kind of my cheater way to make sure that my twine's not going anywhere, or ribbon or whatever you want to use. I'm just using twine in this instance, and then I also like to use my reverse tweezers to kind of hold it there so that I know that it's not going to shift while I'm kind of forcing that adhesive to hold on. Now, I really wanted a bow with this twine, but I am not good at making bows. So I'm sorry, I am going to make you suffer through this bow making. Here it is sped up, so hopefully it's not too painful to watch, but this is my like cheater way to make a bow, because you could of course have wrapped it around the leaves and then tied a bow with the excess. I chose not to do that just because I find it really difficult to do bows. And yes, I do have long nails. Excuse me. So it does make it more difficult, of course. But I'm not great at tying bows regardless. So this is just kind of the easiest way I've found to do this. So you just kind of clamp your material in the reverse tweezers, and then that holds everything in place so you don't have to kind of fight with it shifting around. And then I just tighten it to whatever width I want it to be. And then in this case, I'm going to just glue it on top of the center of where I've wrapped the twine around my little leaf stems. And then I am going to use my reverse tweezers to hold it there until it's adhered. So it's kind of my like easy way to make bows for me, because I do struggle a bit to get them to kind of work, but I have found that that's the easiest way. And then I'm going to adhere my layers together. I did end up putting my Misty on top of this piece. It is a bit warped because of all the moisture I added. So I find one of the easiest ways to get everything to adhere flat is to just set my Misty on top of it until it's adhered. And that's kind of my easiest way to do it. And I did also adhere it down to the base. I just forgot to record it, but you guys have seen me do that several times, so I didn't think it really was necessary. And then I'm going to adhere it kind of in the top section of the card. I really want you to be able to see that color. And yes, you can see a lot of the scattered straw as well, but I think that the Lost Shadow really comes through, especially in the images, not as much right here because I have so much lighting going on for my setup to make sure you can see everything I'm doing with no shadows. But I really think the Lost Shadow comes through beautifully in the pictures of the card. And then I brought in, excuse me, sorry guys. I brought in the Tim Holtz sentiment label stickers, and I just picked out thank you because I can never have enough thank you cards. And I did, I like to go through my cards and kind of see what I have. And I'm always low on thank you and birthday cards. So that is generally what I tend to make the most. And then I had to add a few pearls just because you guys know I love pearls. And I used the Studio Katia satin silver pearls because I think they looked really pretty with the Lost Shadow. And I'm going to hold it up here so you can check it out in all its glory. I love how this card came together. I hope that you like it. I hope that you'll let me know what you think of it, because this color, I actually, when Tim Holtz started, he announced that he was going to bring out 12 new colors. Gray was the top of my list. So the fact that he did bring one out and it's just a stunning color, I'm ridiculously excited, and you guys will see a bunch of projects using it just because I'm so excited about it. But that is the card I have for you guys today. I hope you'll leave me a like, leave me a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I do new videos every Monday and Thursday. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.